Nothing illustrated this more than the commitment of the crack airborne troops. The 9th Airborne Battalion had already been flown into Swanlock itself. Helicopter gunships were taking off and landing practically every minute. The use of these troops means that South Vietnam is throwing everything into this fight. This battle is critical. Unlike that in the Mekong Delta, here there is a definite front line and a set battle. If the people of Saigon are to retain any faith whatsoever in the fighting capabilities of the ARVN, the South Vietnamese Army, then they must stop the North Vietnamese advance. The road was cut to civilians about 20 miles east of Saigon. The actual fighting was taking place about 10 miles further on, as the governor of Binh Hoa province showed us. He was painting a grim picture of the plight of Xuan Loc up ahead.
I heard the enemy attack Xuan Loc, and 18 Division, GVN, 18 Division, General Command have killed a lot. The VC, they have already killed 6 tanks and about 300 VC. And I think the battle over there, I do not know much, but I know VC have lost casualty.
I believe many rockets have fallen on Xuan Loc.
Oh yes, what I understand, they already have about 3,000.
3,000 rockets?
Yeah, they more rocket and thing in and around Xuan Loc.
If 3,000 rockets have landed on Xuan Loc, then the town must be a smoking ruin. However, that fact would not affect the strategic or propaganda importance of the town. The ARVN, that's the South Vietnamese Army, today began a push to clear Highway 1 so that reinforcements could get through to the besieged garrison. The troops fanned out towards banana plantations by the side of the road. No troops advanced on the other side. Here, the ARVN made do with several artillery barrages firing over our heads. There was little doubt that a very determined effort was being made to reopen the road. The South Vietnamese Army today moved up large 155mm artillery pieces to the front line, and will use them against the North Vietnamese regiment blocking the road to besiege Xuan Loc. Behind the guns came the largest military convoy I've seen here, about 3 miles of men and supplies. But the increased flow of refugees from the sector is the surest indicator that a battle for the road is about to begin. A military checkpoint restrained the peasants' flight. The Saigon government is afraid of communist infiltrators among them, and also wants to stop them coming to Saigon, where their arrival is bad for morale. Frequently, a shot is fired over their heads to maintain order. In Saigon, President Thieu announced his new cabinet. He has been without one for 10 days, but most power lies with the president himself anyway. Thieu is reported to have tried to persuade main opposition figures to join in a government of national unity, but he failed. So the new government will be just as unacceptable to the communists as the old. Shortly before the cabinet was announced, an army sergeant publicly attempted suicide in Saigon's main square. Police fired shots to disperse onlookers. This is the traditional place for anti-government protest suicides. but the official reason given was despair at communist aggression.
Well, here we are, so near and yet so far. After 4 hours of driving round Saigon, as conditions here get worse and worse, our bus drivers have brought us to this car park opposite the American Embassy. No one's noticed us here at the moment. The helicopters are landing on the roof up there. We can see the American Marines. If we were up there, we would be on our way out of Saigon. But between the embassy and me is a road packed with South Vietnamese who we already know from bitter experience will go wild if they see us trying to get through the gate. We don't know how we're going to do it. Well, we did make it. We made it by walking around the embassy, clambering over that gate, fighting our way over the top with the Marines helping us, and leaving behind us hundreds of grief-stricken and terrified South Vietnamese who had no hope of getting out here even if they got inside the embassy, but they tried until the last minute.